to part 2 of Green&Blue Walkthroughs channel update number 12. They're fun, and as you can see, everything is fun, and we may seem dark, but that is because I have a singular light on. It's over there. Over there. And yeah, I was able to get back up and running, and let's say, when did my power go out? Okay, the storm was not on that side of the calendar. The storm was actually the 10th for me. Well, the 9th and 10th for me. And that is also my birthday. Yes, I'm now 22. As September 10th, 2017. And which means I want to show off some different games. And yeah, Hurricane Irma was was a birthday present from Mother Nature to me. Thank you, Mother Nature. Yeah, that was an interesting experience, which isn't done for a lot of people, and isn't done for me, not quite yet. When I said that done for me, of course, which well, I got the camera on top of the monitor this time instead of putting it on the keyboard. The reason why I put it on the keyboard is because I like having like the inside of the cockpit view instead of also inside the cockpit, but also when I look at the TV, you get this view. When I look at the monitor, you get this view. So it works when I'm looking at the monitor, but most of the time I'm looking straight at the TV. So yeah, I was saying exactly a bad angle now. I think about it. By the way, so yeah, Hurricane Irma is now dissipating over the southeastern United States. And Jacksonville, if you know Jacksonville history, Matthew wrecked the beaches, and didn't wreck that wrecked completely over the sand dunes, which we rebuilt them another wrecked again. Messed up the pier. Actually, there was a storm before Matthew that like destroyed our pier, which was how long was the pier there? Like 100 years or something like that. But a really long time, and basically another hurricane wrecked it, and they rebuilt it for Matthew. Made it completely different. Made it out of concrete. It was just one pier before. Made it out of concrete. Had slats across it, so if the hurricane winds or waves were to miss the bridge, the slats would go up and into the water, leaving the structure of the pier okay. Thankfully, that's what happened in Irene. It survived Irene. However, the rest of the city, especially around the St. Johns River, not so much. In fact, there's still a flood warning, and people who were evacuated from the evacuation zones across the St. Johns River are still evacuated. Yeah, and when Hurricane did the 11th, one of my aunts and her son came over here. She is my grandma's sister, by the way. Came over here to spend the night because they're afraid of their house in bad storms because of not exactly flooding, but trees falling down on them because they have neighbors and the county having trees that are really tall, and she doesn't like that. So yeah, so they stayed over here. The storm, remember, the storm for us was a Category 1 more or less. A Category 1 that still produced tornadoes. In fact, that night I was hearing reports of tornadoes going across downtown, which doesn't happen usually in Jacksonville. Usually, we get water spouts all the time, don't get me wrong, but they don't usually try to get on land. This is the first time that I ever really saw or really heard of one doing that, or at least recently. So yeah, but all was fine. I didn't hear any deaths from the tornadoes, or any deaths in Jacksonville for that matter. But yeah, it was pretty bad, and in downtown Jacksonville also got flooded, which doesn't really happen ever either. And that's where the majority of the flooding occurred. In fact, there was some flooding at my parents' house, or my house, depending on how you read my driver's license, and just general recency. In the front, basically the road in front of their house, not completely flooded. It was completely covered in water. So yeah, that was bad, and I didn't exactly get all the details from my sister. So yeah, Hurricane Irma was pretty bad for Jacksonville, and much worse for everywhere else. all basically there are Caribbean islands which have been flattened, including their trees. But I wouldn't worry so much about the trees because CNN had a guy. Well, it wasn't CNN. Yeah, it was CNN talking about uh, how talking about environmental impact for Irene, and he said not to worry about the plants going away on the Caribbean islands because they evolved there. Obviously, if we had plants there now, and hurricanes have always and hurricanes have been coming since forever. Obviously, the plants kept being there. Basically, they evolved to always come back, similar to I guess how plants that grow up that come from regions prone to fire, similar to that. However, there are some islands that are completely devoid of life. They look like Iwo Jima. If you ever seen Iwo Jima, what they looked like Iwo Jima. Is Iwo Jima complete black now, or the plants before in World War II? I forgot which, but either one of those, Iwo Jima either had plants or didn't have plants. I forgot the which. But yeah, basically it looks pretty bad on some of those islands, but they should be back in like 30 years. So yeah, the Keys completely flattened too. The Florida, the mainland United States didn't get away scot free in terms of flattening, like some of the Caribbean islands did. And speaking of the Caribbean islands, the European territories, well, let's just say the European masters aren't doing so well to help them. And if I were to admit, the U.S. government's not doing the best to help the U.S. Virgin Islands or Puerto Rico as much as it should. But you know me, I'm going to make an excuse here. It's comment that it's probably because of the whole distraction of Florida getting hit, Florida being completely covered. However, that situation Florida is almost done with, or almost, it's contained now. So now more is government's probably going to go to Puerto Rico and its Virgin Islands, especially if you complain loud enough, they will come. So yeah, the Caribbean islands have been hit, and in fact there's one island, I believe it's the Dutch part of Saint Martin. I forget where though. AED messing with me, but yeah, that was an island which is under complete curfew for 6 days from the hurricane. Because remember, hurricane in Northeast Florida was just my birthday, the 10th. Hurricane for the Caribbean was a week ago, and yeah, that part of the island was under curfew, complete curfew, not just curfew at night or curfew at certain hours. It was under curfew. It was under complete day. Was under complete day and night curfew till day of uploading, which would be the 13th, or is it? There go the 13th. I guess today. As upload and recording. So yeah, situation's pretty bad in a lot of places. In fact, an improvement of the situation is the fact that they originally Florida Power and Light and the U.S. government and FEMA and everyone thought that Florida is going to be there would be parts of Florida that would be under blackouts for weeks, or not for weeks, months. Especially places of Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico will be months, and then places in Florida be, less than that, but weeks at the very minimum. However, Florida Power and Light pretty much said that, you know what, we can do this. We can do it in a week. So they're going to try, which by the way, Florida Power and Light is the primary power company for the entirety of Florida. However, there are places in Florida with different companies like Jacksonville's JEA, and Clay County has Clay Electric. So yeah. So they're going to try their best, and fortunately I got my power up within 2 days, which is nice. Which I can do my effort, or do part of my effort to up the situation by producing videos. Because the thing about YouTube is, YouTube is a civic service in a way that you make a video, you provide entertainment for people that are down on their luck or just having a bad day. I say, having a hurricane go through your town and having to pick up the debris and having just a terrible situation, maybe losing loved ones, is, I'll try my best to help with that. So yeah, and I think that every YouTuber should, or every entertainer should, comedian, anyone should. So yeah. Um, but anyway, so yeah. Which by the way, the storm for me wasn't too bad. Yeah, it wasn't too bad for me. The wind was pretty bad. The trees were bending, and I have maples in the front. And then we have tons of flower bushes in front of my room because they self-sustain. So they were blowing the wind. I was trying to record it, but unfortunately, GoPro was not like shooting out a window at night at all. So I was unable to really get anything from there. I was only able to get the beginning of the storm because I was in daytime and the aftermath, which I may make a video. I mean, not depending. So yeah. But anyway, so it was pretty bad and windy. Um, However, what really kept me up at night, I stayed awake for the entirety of it on purpose, just to stay awake for it. I could have fell asleep, but I decided to just wait it out like a lot of people. So, and then when I tried to go to sleep later on, it wasn't really anything that the storm was doing actively that was getting me. It was two things. Which one is a horror story, and the second one not so much. Basically, yeah, a little bit. I was staying alert for tornadoes. Basically, whenever I would be asleep, I would, you know, be looking out the window because I had the curtains open, could still see outside because I had good night vision, and I would be asleep. And then bam, and then something, and then wind, sleep, wind, sleep, wind, big wind, maybe tornado, sleep, and yeah, but there was no tornadoes. At least none that we saw. That's the thing with hurricanes is you might not, especially tornadoes that get produced by hurricanes and just happen around Jacksonville. You might not know it may not know it's a tornado because the hurricane's just as bad. So yeah. But anyway, and then there was even worse throughout the night. Well, let's begin the story. Okay, so a year or two, uh, 2 or 3 years ago, a family of feral cats moved into my watchtower, which is an old air self structure which we have in the backyard, which Grandpa uses as makeshift store for random stuff, which we always been to finish it, but yeah. And it's a nice place to hang out too. I hanged out a lot with my friends, and so yeah, the feral cats live there now, and they show up they spot them every now and then around the house. But you know they're feral cats, so they just watch you or scurry away. However, during the storm, you could hear them meowing at each other and just generally fighting the wind. And then at certain points during the storm, they started screaming, and will last for a little bit. However, fortunately, they start screaming from the basically they start screaming in the back left corner of the house, and then they moved around the night, and then basically moved around the night meowing, and then start screaming right uh, to the front right of my house. And that's supposed to heard them. So when I told, when we sleep in shifts, I basically stay up at night. Then my grandpa being a Navy man, he wakes up at like 3 a.m. So he told me, he told me, you're a night watch. So I was on night watch for the entire night, and basically when he got up, I told him that he should look out for the feral cats to make sure they're all right because I had the thought that if you find them, it's not going to be good because they were either hit by debris or pinned by debris. But fortunately, when he got up, when he looked around, he looked everywhere and he couldn't find them, which that is a good thing. They are feral cats. You're not meant to find them. If you find them, either they're calm with you, or you don't want to know where the door is. Which, by the way, also these feral cats like to bring us gifts every now and then because they're house cats. Just never probably lived in the house. So yeah. But anyway, so other than that, it was a pretty quiet night. I'm actually caught up on some DVDs which I'm gonna watch with my portable DVD player, which is refusing to charge. But yeah, so I was able to catch up some DVDs. I even started watching Harry Potter again, which I've been meaning to get back to forever, like a lot of things nowadays. But yeah, I stopped watching Goblet of Fire, and now I'm starting watching it again. I'm now on. I just finished before recording this. I just finished um the third one, prisoner of. I can't even say the word, but basically prisoner. The third movie, the prisoner of something. But yeah, I watched the first and second one last night, or during the hurricane itself, and yeah, little little uh, little detour. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I watching it in Harry Potter is really good. I, like it's expressively good. Sure, some of it's a bit dated, but all movies that are dependent on CGI typically are dated at some point. Some again, like Harry Potter, like Star Wars, Star Trek on certain days, can be undated, but still, it's been dated, but it's really good. I mean, it's like Shadowrun, but in the modern day and less grim half the time, part of the time. But yeah, I mean, I really should have watched it earlier. I've been meaning to for a year or two now, but anyway. So going back to it, but yeah, so it was mainly calm for me. There was no real damage. Um, my cousin who made the mess computer, actually, it's about over there on the camera, who made the mess computer. He did bring he had a generator just laying around in the box. They never really used it, and they brought it over. I was able to get the air conditioner on, and my actual Blu-ray player, my actual TV, so I can watch Channel 4 News, which unfortunately the power went back on that day. But and maybe asking, wait, why did you get the air conditioner? It's because I have the router in my room. So which that didn't work with the power out actually. So the Comcast lines might have been cut too. So yeah. By the way, and they get all thing in my room. They also managed to get the generator in, or to get the air conditioner in my grandpa's room. But the reason why I said they didn't put the wires from my conditioner my grandma into grandma's room, which grandma does not like the heat at all. In fact, like last night, she had a wet washcloth over her head, which she filled the freezer, which didn't really work until Grandpa fixed it again, full of basically containers of water, which actually kept the freezer cold and full of drinks and water just to be icy, so she called it by the way, as well as the cold stuff like ice cream and yogurt, which that didn't really last, which that didn't really last. So yeah, but we anyway before it went. But anyway, so I also kept steak frozen, which is interesting. Uh, which we that's just which we made shish kebabs uh before we got the generator running. So yeah, but yeah, the reason why they put it in her room, which I wanted to put in her room, because that was the simplest thing to do, because I'm not really affected by heat, even in this thick cotton polyester shirt, and same thing with the pants. Um, like the night, it was a bit hard for me to sleep at first with the sweating of the 80-degree room, but the morning after, completely fine. Yeah. So which I like everything extra in my room is because when I get working, my brain gets going, it heats up the entire room. Don't ask me how it happens. It just happens. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, it wasn't too bad for me, which is why I started a video talking about why it's terrible for everyone else. So yeah. Alright, by the way, so as you can see, I'm completely fine. My family's fine. So the houses are fine, which I did mean for that, which I do mean plural with that, because my house, but that's a bit of a house collector. Not no, we're not rich or anything, but I just have houses, smaller houses like cottages and stuff. But anyway, and houses we collect over generation. Okay, over 2 generations. Make that 3. So yeah. Alright, by the way, so yeah, that's it for this video. I just want to tell you, I just want to let you know that I'm okay, and videos are going to be resuming. Probably since this is uploaded, that can be a bit longer for rendering of the other videos. But I got a couple games that I want to play for my birthday, which one I got for my birthday and just got installed right now. Which you might guess what it is. Maybe not, because I haven't talked about it on the channel at all. I've been meaning to get it for a year or two now. But, yeah, I mean, you know my penchant for tank games every now and then, and simulators. And this one's not on Steam. You might be thinking of another game, but this one's not on Steam. So, yeah. You'll see, because I'm going to record right now. And then after that, I got another game, which is a game in the series which I did one of the games in the series on, and I didn't get the third game because because it was a busy year, and I just didn't want to spend my budget on that because it's one of those games which I get tired of a bit early, at least for recording anyway. So I got that, and then the third game, which is another thing that comes out of left field, but you might know it because I like my big ships and simulators. I don't know how much I can get to tonight, as you can see. It is 2:55 a.m. But, we'll see how things go. And if not, I'll be done this week. So, and then we'll get back to business as usual as soon as possible. So, yeah. Alright, by the way, so that'll be it for this video. And this camera angle is not too bad. I mean, it's better than you looking down from down from the seat of my chair, up my torso into my chin. And it's also be fine for doing. This will also be fine for doing, things with the monitor, PC games mostly. But mainly these days I play just the TV because it's working now. When I first started this setup, the TV didn't always work with PC games because of reasons that I still don't understand. Alright, so anyway, yeah, things be back to normal, and yeah, it didn't take that long. And my heart goes out to everyone that can't get back to normal for not only days, but weeks, but also months, years. Yeah. But hopefully these videos help you get back to normal, or at least help you feel like it's back to normal. Alright, by the way, so yeah. That'll be it for this video, and again, business as usual will continue shortly. And again, I hope for the best. I'm praying for everyone who's been affected. And yeah, hopefully the current count of the current diff count stays at below 50, or stays at around 50. Because a storm like this, going through so many places at such strength, let's hope it's just 50. And more sense for those that unfortunately, yeah, you get the idea. Alright, thanks for watching, and I guess, see you in a skin.